Hey everybody, Miss Glad here. I hope that you are having a good Friday and that you enjoyed the music video for today. Sorry I can't be with you. I'm actually up north with my dad. He's not feeling too well. I'm just getting out of the hospital, so I'm helping him recover. So let's go ahead. We will need your pink notes today, and please get those out. If you have not already gotten those out, please do so right now. We will be working on page 11 and page 12. So, before we get there, just kind of a reminder when we are working with the Pythagorean theorem, we are always looking for that 90-degree angle, okay? And we're trying to figure out what am I solving for? So, my triangle on the left, I can definitely see the leg is missing. We're going to call it leg A. So, when I set this up, I'm keeping that in mind, solving for a missing leg versus the triangle on the right. Triangle right, the hypotenuse is missing. And we know that the hypotenuse is the easier one to solve. So as I kind of take a peek here, let's take a look at my next slide. A reminder that when we solve for the hypotenuse or any of the sides of the Pythagorean theorem, C is always the longest side. So if you're looking here, there's a couple of triangles, and the question is, which one is a right triangle? So notice that there is no symbol showing us that it's right. So we're going to have to use the Pythagorean to check it. So here, 8, actually 9, is my largest side. So that would suggest that my C is right here. Let's just call this AB. But to actually check it, we are going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the Pythagorean theorem. Excuse my writing, I'm a little bit rusty writing with my little mouse here. It's been a while. So what I need to do is I'm going to plug my 6 in. So I've got 6 squared plus my 8, my b, 8 squared. And I want to know, is that equal to 9 squared? So my perfect square is 36 plus 64. It suggests that in order for the Pythagorean theorem to work, these two numbers must equal 81. Is that true? No. 100 does not equal 81. So I know that this triangle is not a right triangle. So it's likely an acute little triangle, but that does not qualify for a right triangle. So the triangle on the left does not work. So the next one here, I'm going to switch my color to purple. It looks like this is a 90, but we can't go by looks. Okay, we're not going to use a protractor. Sometimes triangles are not written to scale. So what I am going to use is I'm going to use my Pythagorean theorem. And I know that this side has to be the C because it's the longest side. So I'm going to put together my A and my B, and I'm going to say 6 squared plus 8 squared. Does that equal, we are checking right now, 10 squared? So, same as the other one, 36 plus 64. Does that equal 100? It exactly equals 100. So I know that yes, this indeed is a right triangle, and I verified that using my Pythagorean theorem. So that is part of our work today. Page 11, your notes. So find those right at the top here. I want to know, is this a right triangle? So to check that out, I'm going to need to see what's my C. My hypotenuse is always my longest side. And so we are checking to see right here if this A and B actually indeed make a Pythagorean triple. So I'm going to take 6 squared plus my 12 squared, and I'm testing it to see, does that equal 13 squared? So I've got to use my squares to check this out. 36 plus 144. Does that equal 169? Well, if I look over here, 144 plus 36 gives me what? 180? That is not the same as 169. So this is not a right triangle. So these, when you're checking, you just have to make sure that the Pythagorean theorem works. Here, it does not, therefore is not a right triangle. Looking at my next part, down on the bottom of page 11, it says, are the following triangles right? So we, again, are going to use our Pythagorean theorem to check. So I'm looking for my longest side, which right here, C is 5. So we are really going to see, do my A and B make a right angle? So let's check it out. 3 squared plus 4 squared, oopsies. Finding my little eraser here. I can't find it, so I'm going to say 4 squared. We want to know, does this equal 5 squared? So 9 plus 16. You guys are probably faster than me right now. Ooh, look, yes, it does equal 25. So yes, this does make a right triangle. Second one, notice there's no picture, but that doesn't matter. We just need to know the A, B, and the C. So my hypotenuse is 7. So right now I'm going to test, does 5 squared plus 6 squared equal 7 squared? Do you remember all those squares that we've been memorizing these last few weeks? This comes in handy right now. 25 plus 36. We want to know, is that equal to 49? So right here, if I add these together, I get 61. Is that equal to 49? Not a chance. This is not equal. This does not make a right triangle. My next one, 5, 12, 13. Our job is to check, does this make a right triangle? So my longest side C, hypotenuse, is 13. So A and B are interchangeable. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to set up my 5 squared plus my 12 squared. Does that equal 13 squared? Let's check it out. 25 plus 144, you got it, is exactly 169. So these are equal? Yes, it is a perfect square, or it is a perfect right triangle. So today you're going to be doing investigating. You are going to check, does it work? Does it not work? That's part of your work today. Now, I would like to do a couple word problems. Word problems can get kind of tricky. So I'm going to clear my screen here. Let's go to this next page, number 1 on page 12. So this problem, notice that I've got it sectioned into 3 parts. So in the picture part, we are going to draw kind of a diagram to help us figure this out. We're going to pose the question, what are we looking for? And then we're going to solve using the Pythagorean theorem. So it says, Miss Glad lives 8 miles east of the school. Mr. Baldwin lives 12 miles south of the school. So here, if I draw a picture, let's just say here's a school. And since I live east from the school, if I travel, let's just say here is 8 miles east, here is the Glad house. And I'm going to label this 8 miles. Okay, so their school, 8 miles east, is me. Now, Mr. Baldwin lives 12 miles south. So from school, I'm going to head directly south. Here is the house of Baldwin. And Baldwin is 12 miles south. So using this diagram, what would be a good question that we could wonder about the Glad house and the Baldwin house? Here's a hint. How far apart are they? How far apart, or what's the quickest way to get from Glad to Baldwin house? So this is painful, you guys, writing on here, many miles apart are they? Now, this would be the quickest route. So, notice I've created a right triangle. By going east and south, that's exactly 90 degrees. So I'm going to use my Pythagorean theorem to say 8 squared is one leg, plus 12 squared is my second leg. So a squared, b squared. We want to know what is my c squared. So let's put our line in and solve. 64 plus 144 is equal to my c squared. So as I go through, I notice that I'm going to add these up. 64 plus 144, I'm going to get an 8 here. And I believe I get 208. So c squared is 208. Now, I really don't care what my hypotenuse squared is. I want the c all by itself. So we need to square root on the left, square root on the right. C equals, now I'm going to grab my calculator because I wasn't thinking ahead. Oh well, here we go. 208 square root, rounded to the nearest tenth, 14.4 miles. That is the distance between the diagonal of those two homes, okay? Which is shorter than going up 12 and over 8. That'd be 20 miles. So a lot of the times the diagonal, the hypotenuse, is the quickest way there. Now, let's set up question 2, and then I'm going to let you get to work. Question 2 looks like this. A TV is measured by its diagonal. The height of a TV is 13 and the length is 16. So first of all, let's draw a diagram. Here's my rectangle. TVs are measured for their diagonal. So here, it doesn't tell us the measure of the diagonal, but it says that the height is 13 inches. Got to be feet, not 13. Yeah, 13 feet. And the length is 16 feet. That looks like the inches mark, but regardless. So notice that my height and my length create that 90-degree angle. So I have my 2 legs ready to go. My hypotenuse C is what we're missing. So what's our question? What is the diagonal of the TV? That is how it is measured. So if you go by 60-inch TV, you're actually measuring the diagonal. So what is the measurement of this TV? I'll just let you finish that part. Now, let's solve it. Let's just say 13 is A, 16 is B. So I've got 13 squared plus 16 squared equals C squared. So I'm going to put my line in and solve. I know that 13 times 13 is 169, plus 16 times 16 is 256. So together, So let's see if we've got a perfect square here. So 169 plus 256 gives me 425. Now, that's my c squared. I don't really care about c squared. I want to get the distance all by itself, c. So finish it off by finding the square root. The square root of 425 is 20.6. Let's go with feet. That's still pretty small. TV. No, I don't know what I'm thinking, you guys. It's late. Sorry. It is inches, but that's a really tiny TV. 60-inch TV would be huge. Okay, 70 inches, even bigger. Obviously, then we'd get into feet. So those are definitely inches. These are little tiny, tiny TVs, maybe for like a camp or something. So anyway, all right. So your next step is you're going to be doing a quizzes. Use your scratch paper, use a calculator, and work hard. All right, guys. Hope to see you Monday. Bye bye.